I know a lot of fans were talking about and speculating is, would you be adding any of the Mangini-era songs into the set? And you are playing Barstool Warrior and This Is the Life on the set. So yeah, I mean, how has it been playing that? I know you're playing some of those on the other side of the kit too. Right. But I think that may have come to a surprise for some of the fans.
Well, I expected that would be the case. And those guys, when handing over the set list reins back to me, gave me full freedom in what I wanted to do. They didn't insist on playing any Mangini-era songs, but I felt we have to. I mean, it would be very disrespectful of me to just expect them to wipe away 5 albums, you know, of their career. So I knew that they had to be included, and the guys were very, very cool in giving me full freedom and picking whatever ones of those songs I wanted to include in the set. So I had to go back and do my homework and listen to those albums. I wasn't very familiar with them, to be honest, because when I wasn't in the band, it was, you know, to be honest, it was difficult for me to hear them without me. So I didn't really know those albums and those songs very well, so I did some homework. And the songs I picked were ones that I could relate to. They were ones that reached out to me like melodically in terms of, you know, they felt like they would fit in the set list that we're playing for this 40th anniversary tour. They felt like songs I would be comfortable playing. I didn't go for any of the crazy acrobatic technical songs. To be honest, I don't necessarily relate to those. It was harder for me to relate to, so I was more moved by, you know, the melody and the songwriting and the moods of those songs. And those 2 songs, I love them. And they feel real natural in the set list. I think if you didn't know the history of the band, you wouldn't know that I didn't originally record those songs. And yeah, I play both of those songs on this side of the kit. And I mentioned this to you earlier, off camera. You know, I knew that I was going to get a lot of attention, or at least criticism, possible criticism, over not playing those parts identical. Because the guys even mentioned to me, look, we don't expect you to play it exactly note for note. You should do what you want to do to make yourself comfortable within the framework of the song. So they gave me that freedom as well. Nice. So, I mean, I tried to respect Mike's parts as best as I could, but I also wanted to be comfortable with them. There's moments here and there where it's like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. So in those moments, I do some, you know, things that feel more comfortable to my style. Yeah. And like I said to you off air, like, you know, people that were like online critiquing, oh, he didn't play the parts exactly. I don't even play my own parts exact. You know, seriously, I don't. I literally get up there, and half the time I don't remember what I played on the album. I'm just in the moment and feeling the song. So yeah, you know, I've been in the situation where I had to play other people's parts before. I toured with Twisted Sister and Avenged Sevenfold and all these other bands I've filled in with. So, you know, I know how to respect a drummer that came before me and do my best with it, but you also have to be comfortable as well.
I mean,
Dream Theater hits the stage, and Mike Portnoy, back on the throne after 13 years, counts in a song fans never thought he'd touch. The Grammy-nominated The Enemy Inside. Did Portnoy just pay tribute or cross a line? Stick around as we break down how we got here and why this track matters.
Dream Theater have never been short on headline-worthy drama, but the turbulence that started in 2023, the kind that ripped the throne from Mike Mangini and dropped founding member Mike Portnoy back where he began, felt like a sequel nobody knew how to write. The lightning-fast technician, who powered 5 albums after Portnoy quit in 2010, suddenly found himself outside the rehearsal room he'd helped modernize. Portnoy shook hands, swore he'd mellowed, and the band promised fans a bridge between eras. Everyone nodded politely, yet beneath those smiles, you could sense an awkward question brewing. What happens to the Mangini-era songs now that their original architect is gone? 4 days ago, we got the answer, at least to one song. Portnoy strapped in behind his newly polished kit, counted off in silent clicks, and launched into The Enemy Inside. That title isn't just one of the band's heaviest riffs. It's a track that defined the Mangini years. Earning Dream Theater a Grammy nomination in 2014. And until this week, Portnoy had never played it on stage. Now, he was hammering its jackhammer double kicks like he'd written the part himself. Now let's venture into how we got here. In 2010, drummer Mike Portnoy asked Dream Theater for a 6-month hiatus. The band declined, so he walked. A year later, the group staged a camera-ready open audition, and speed demon Mike Mangini claimed the throne. Over the next decade, he tightened Dream Theater's already intricate grooves. Then, in October 2023, a press release dropped the bombshell. Portnoy was returning. Mangini was stepping aside. Both men kept it cordial.
When you first initially announced that Mike had returned, it was kind of out of nowhere. And when was the decision? When did it come down to the fact that, okay, you know what, Portnoy's back, Mangini, we're gonna let him go. What was the process there? Like, when did that sort of just come about?
Well, I think that, you know, there were several existential things that were, you know, going on, as far as you could see Mike Portnoy doing John Petrucci's solo album. You could see him doing the solo tour. You could see him doing the latest Liquid Tension album. So there was, you know, all these things that were slowly but surely opening the door to, is that a possibility? You know, is that something we should consider? Is it inevitable that the band should be considering the classic lineup reunion? And things just start to become a little more obvious as time, you know, continues, and things unfold naturally in that direction. And I think after the last world tour, after we had, you know, we completed that tour and we were at home for a couple months, there were already things that we were thinking about, and that kind of, without getting into it, it was just something that was just pushing us that way through conversations with one another. When I say one another, being myself, John Petrucci, Jordan, and John Mayung, just kind of feeling that magnetism, like, guys, you know, I think this is our time. I think this only makes sense that we bring back Mike and make something of it. Let's do this.
How did Mike Mangini take the news when you broke it to him?
Well, he was quite very professional about it. Very admirable of him to, you know, have been. He took it in style, in class. I mean, obviously, I think it would have been upsetting. It must have been upsetting, but you know, he took it for what it's worth, and you know, even saying things like, it kind of makes sense, guys. I see why this should be happening and why this would maybe inevitably be happening. It just makes sense for the band and the amount of history that you all have together. It seems natural.
Is it fair for Portnoy to play a song stamped with Mangini's fingerprints? Dream Theater have always shared their catalog. Mangini spent a decade nailing Portnoy-era monsters like The Glass Prison. So Turnabout seems fair, but The Enemy Inside is different. Its tricky snare grid was built for Mangini's style, and it earned the band a Grammy nod that defined his tenure. Loyalists who still resent Portnoy's 2010 exit hear his version as musical trespass. Even Mangini seems at peace, on the surface, at least. In a recent podcast promoting his forthcoming solo record, he said, "I want those songs to live beyond me. If the guys play them, that's a huge compliment." Of course, the host noted Mangini pause before adding, "I just hope they play them well."